The reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience of The View would think twice about all of their ideas. That's why they felt so compelled to try to smear our wonderful summit this last weekend.
Yeah, they have nothing else to talk about. Maybe you should get the lawyer that worked on that Covington Catholic school case. What was that, a $200 million settlement? I think, Charlie, you could use the money, and your students definitely could too.
When words aren't enough, how Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly unraveled Sunny Hostin. Let's break this down step by step, in a way that feels like talking to a friend, not reading a script. This isn't just a clash of ideas. It's a clear case of two voices stepping up on live TV and exposing someone whose moral outrage was all flash and no substance. The backstory: what sparked this showdown? Here's why things blew up in the first place. Organizers invited thousands of students to a summer gathering featuring conservative speakers. But mainstream media coverage didn't just ignore the facts, they twisted them. They claimed gas prices were down, flights were cheap, and that these students just wanted an excuse to draw attention. Their audience? Primed to question
her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Everything. That spin triggered the backlash. Comment sections under the critics' social media posts lit up with anger. You crossed a line. How dare you put your hands on kids? She's a national hero. Don't mess with her. Some defenders urged patience and fairness, saying no one had seen all the evidence yet. But for many, public opinion had already been formed. The edited clip
Sunny's not moved by principle. She's moved by performance. Her outrage doesn't rise with the seriousness of a situation. It rises with what sells, what trends, what gets applause. She's turned moral outrage into a commodity where every headline she reacts to is carefully chosen for maximum emotional payoff. That's the trick. It's not about justice. It's about audience engagement. She's perfected the emotional marketplace, where passion is currency and truth takes a back seat. Kirk didn't need to yell. He just held up the mirror. And what stared back wasn't a crusader for justice. It was a brand manager in full swing. Sunny's outrage doesn't come from the heart. It comes from a subscription model. She delivers what sells, outrage on demand, when the political mileage makes it worth the airtime. And Charlie Kirk? He spotted that formula a mile away. His takedown wasn't loud or messy. It wasn't about scoring cheap shots. It was clean, precise, and brutal. He played the role of a media forensic expert, showing the receipts, tracing the inconsistencies, and highlighting how Sunny's righteous fury is less about conviction and more about choreography. All timed, all rehearsed. The real mic drop: her outrage isn't genuine. It's staged, it's rented. And guess what? That lease is about to expire the moment real facts show up knocking.
At its point long before the full story came out. Inside the crisis, panic behind the scenes. Meanwhile, bet executives were scrambling. What was meant to be a clean celebration had become a liability. Rumors began circulating about possible legal repercussions, not just from the students and their schools, but potentially criminal charges if authorities got involved. The summit organizers hadn't released the full report yet, but the media narrative was spiraling fast. Old tensions resurface. This wasn't a sudden reaction. Sources say the hostility started months before. In one interview, Clarissa criticized female rappers for using violent imagery, claiming it sent a harmful message to young girls. No names were mentioned, but many believed Sunny Hostin took offense. One insider suggested Sunny felt publicly shamed, even though she wasn't named. Others hinted at deeper personal connections, maybe industry betrayals or hidden personal grudges. Everyone agreed. Tensions were already simmering. The summit was just the spark. Family speaks out. Back at home, the students affected weren't the only ones upset. Their families were also stressed and seeking answers. A heartfelt video from a mother of one of the kids went viral overnight. She was crying, asking for prayers and justice on behalf of her child. My daughter didn't deserve this, she said through tears.
Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they teach. But I said this to our team. I said working people, the muscular class, including working women, they are so in favor of Trump, and they don't want to be called stupid or uneducated.
So hard. How could someone do that? That clip added fuel to the fire. Supporters rallied behind the hashtag #JusticeForClarissa, and the pressure on Sunny Hostin intensified. Who is Sunny Hostin, really? Sunny Hostin presents herself as the voice of moral clarity on The View. She strides into the studio like someone delivering divine truth, every word dripping with righteous certainty. In her world, bold accusations and labels are her tools. But when real scrutiny arrived, with facts, records, and timelines, her arguments began to crumble. Her outrage flared when criticizing conservatives. But when similar issues came from her own side, crickets. That isn't consistency, it's convenience. That's not advocacy, it's branding.
She's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to
The clash, Charlie Kirk steps in. Charlie Kirk isn't subtle, but subtlety wasn't needed. He came prepared with receipts, voting statistics, direct quotes, chronological events, and asked questions no one else dared to ask. While Sunny was busy painting conservative students with a broad brush, Kirk zeroed in on the factual cracks in her narrative. The founder of Turning Point USA and author of The College Scam, he didn't try to silence her.
But look, what did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with.
He tried to show where her words clashed with real-world data. He challenged her. Do your students, the ones you criticize, buy what you're selling? His focus wasn't on personal insults, it was on accountability. And once you saw the inconsistencies laid out, they were impossible to ignore. Megyn
Amazing. She's specifically there referring to the women, but of course it's the non-college educated men as well who voted for Donald Trump. And the nerve of this woman to whom the country has given so much to try to dump on people who didn't go to college. Look at you, look at your achievements. How do you like the so-called uneducated
Kelly
now,
joined
son?
the fight. Then Megyn Kelly entered, calm, composed, and sharper than anyone expected. She didn't need to raise her voice. Instead, she brought a binder full of evidence. No yelling, no theatrics. Just cold, undeniable facts showing contradicted claims, statements Sunny had made publicly that didn't align with the data. Page after page, she methodically dismantled Hostin's narrative. What Sunny didn't see coming. Sunny walked into the segment with confidence, prepared buzzwords, the moral high ground, and her signature assertive posture. But she wasn't equipped for this onslaught of real analysis. It wasn't only the—
Sunny Hostin I think she went to Binghamton undergrad, and she went to Notre Dame Law School, which is a great law school. Her son right now is at Harvard. That son she wants us to think is sitting there oppressed, who she's got to fight on behalf of because America is so awful to him. They're educating him right now at Harvard University. And Jason, would you take a look at this? Because I'm going to guess, I haven't been to your house down in Tennessee, but I'm going to guess it doesn't look like this. This is Sunny Hostin's home in this shitty country that she can't stand, that doesn't treat Black people like Sunny well. She let People magazine feature her home. Look at this dump. This country sucks. She went to Notre Dame Law School. She makes millions on The View. Her son's at Harvard. I'm sure her daughter's at private school on her way to some Ivy League. This is where Sunny lives. And F off, America. I can't stand how you've kept us all in chains. That's her message.